It is evolving just backwards.
What's up? It's Chris, the Drone Geek, and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk Drones. Let's Talk Drones is brought to you by The Droning Company, the #1 online resource for commercial remote pilots based in the United States. Check them out online at thedroningcompany.com for a second-to-none job board, plus tons of resources and information to make you a more well-rounded pilot. It's only $10 a month, and The Droning Company does not take anything off the top of any jobs that you get from their job board. Plus, there's no commitment. You can back out anytime, so that means no risk to you. Just $10 a month. You gotta go sign up. Check them out, thedroningcompany.com, as well as across all social media platforms. And speaking of The Droning Company, currently, this is past Chris, recording for you in the future. Currently, present Chris is either on a flight or just getting off of a flight in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yes. I am going to the Commercial UAV Expo starting on Monday. The Commercial UAV Expo takes place at Caesars Forum from September 6th through the 8th. I'll be there with my friends at the Droning Company. We've got Stuart, Ben, Mike, Don, the whole crew's gonna be there. So if you happen to have registered for that and you're watching this video, come check us out. Talk with us. We're really easygoing guys. We'd love to talk to you. We'll be walking all around the show with our Droning Company t-shirts on. Check them out, thedroningcompany.com, and across all social media platforms. Today's video is not about the Commercial UAV Expo. It's not about the Droning Company. You already sort of know what this is about. This is about DJI and some potential downgrades. Now, wait, that's not exactly true, okay? It's not a downgrade per se. Recently, I was on Twitter, and if you know about drone rumors and the rumor mill, there are 3 major players when it comes to drone news, rumors, and leaks. That's our friend Jasper Ellens, that's Osita LV, and that's Deals Drones. Those 3 consistently have leaked or spread rumors about upcoming drones or drone technology from the major players that usually comes to fruition. I mean, they're not usually misses from those guys. And recently on Twitter, I found 2 leaks or 2 pieces of information that may or may not be true from Deals Drones. The first one was the Mavic 3 Classic. I was just scrolling down through, and of course, the classic side profile of the Mavic 3 with those skinny little arms caught my eye. When you own a Mavic 3, for some reason, you might relate to this if you own one, that just catches your eye. You're just like, oh, that's my drone, because there is no other drone on the market that looks like that. Just those skinny little arms. They're like chicken legs. I saw that, but instead of saying Mavic 3, I was gonna put that down, but instead of saying just Mavic 3 or Mavic 3 Cine on the side, it said Mavic 3 Classic. And I thought, that's interesting. Haven't heard of the Mavic 3 Classic before. So before I even had a chance to go and investigate that, I scrolled a little further and I came upon just a little bit of information from Deals Drones about the DJI Mini 3 coming out at the end of this month. And sort of scratched my head and thought, deja vu? Like, we already did a Mini 3. This is where we get the catch. So after doing some research on various drone news websites and finding some articles related to the Mavic 3 Classic, the Mavic 3S, the Mavic 3 SE, as well as the DJI Mini 3 Standard, I was able to come to a conclusion. DJI, in preparation for the holidays, is releasing scaled back versions of these 2 platforms. That means that we're probably going to get a Mavic 3 in the Mavic 3 Classic that doesn't have all the bells and whistles that the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Cine have. Same with the DJI Mini. Now let's not forget, the Mini that was released earlier this year was the DJI Mini 3 Pro. We don't have a standard version of the DJI Mini 3. That's what this is going to be at the end of this month, September 2022. So that led me to some speculation. What could this possibly mean? Let's start with the Mavic 3 Classic. There are a few areas when you look at the Mavic 3 and the Mavic 3 Cine that we can reasonably scale this drone back. The first one is obvious, the camera. The camera on the Mavic 3 has a 4/3 sensor as well as a 1/2-inch CMOS sensor for the 28x zoom telephoto camera in the top of the body of the gimbal. So 2 camera sensors on 1 drone. When they marketed that, it was really exciting, but then we got the finished product and the telephoto lens just didn't deliver the way we wanted it to. And even after a firmware update, it still doesn't quite have the punch that you need to offer something professionally to a client with that sensor. It's okay, it works for social media, and it certainly works for just exploring and having fun, but in terms of actual application of the images from that camera, few and far between in my opinion, and in the opinion of most people that I've talked to and watched on YouTube and read, etc. So when I go around and I see consistently that where they're going to scale the camera back on the Mavic 3 for the Mavic 3 Classic is by getting rid of the telephoto sensor, I'm going to have to go ahead and beg to differ there. I think it's possible. Certainly, I'm not going to rule that out and say it's a ridiculous notion, but I think if you're really going to make a difference to consumers that held back from buying the Mavic 3 because of budgetary reasons, taking the obsolete sensor out of the camera that has two sensors on it is not the way to really make room in the budget. I think you could knock a couple $100 off for sure, but when you're talking about the Fly More combo for the Mavic 3 Standard being $3,000, and then the Mavic 3 Cine is $5,000 for that package, $200-300 doesn't really make that much of a difference. It's gonna be in the same price point. I think to have success with this drone and to capture that audience that was hesitant when this drone first came out is to knock that price back to closer to where the Mavic 2 Pro and Mavic 2 Zoom were, where we're looking at maybe $1,500, $1,600. Heck, I think that you could even charge $1,700 or $1,800 and make $200, $300 more than you did on the Mavic 2 Pro and the Mavic 2 Zoom. You just have to cut the right camera out. And to me, the only answer is you have to take that 4/3 sensor and you have to scale it back to a 1-inch sensor. That's the only thing that I can reasonably think of to make room in the budget for this drone. Keep the telephoto camera, keep that functionality for consumers that might enjoy it, but the 4/3 sensor is a huge step up. When I upgraded from the Mavic 2 Pro to the Mavic 3, huge difference in terms of the quality of the images that I shot with my drone. It's head and shoulders above, in my opinion. So that's the first place. The second place has to be in the internal storage. Now, the Mavic 3 Standard has 8 GB of internal storage. The Mavic 3 Cine has a 1 TB SSD built into the drone, and that's so it can keep up with that high resolution and the Apple ProRes codec. I think if they made the Mavic 3 Classic with no internal storage, it would definitely make a difference price-wise, and again, capture the attention of that audience that was a little skeptical before without having to sacrifice some of the quality of the camera or the dual sensor on the gimbal. The last place that you can really maybe cut some costs and make this make sense for the audience that you missed the first time around is in the battery life. Now, I know everybody wants to fly longer, but 45 minutes, I think 45 or 46 minutes is what the Mavic 3 is rated at. That's amazing. That is absolutely incredible. And even though you don't actually get that time, it's more like 38 minutes. 38 minutes is still far and beyond much longer flight time than I ever had before with a DJI product. So you could cut back, make those batteries a little smaller, maybe go back to the form that the Mavic 2 Pro had. Heck, maybe make this drone compatible with the Mavic 2 Pro batteries. I don't know if they're going to overhaul the design that much just for this segment of missed opportunities, but it's an idea. Scale back that battery life, make those batteries a little cheaper to make, and all of a sudden, it makes more sense for those folks that are trying to save a little bit of money. Let's turn around and go ahead and look at the Mini 3 though. So we got the Mini 3 Pro earlier this year. Now we're looking at getting a Mini 3 Standard. And by all accounts, I agree with the notion out there. It seems like, and this is what all signs are pointing to, not that I have firm evidence to present to you here, but the sources that I got this information from are indicating that what they're going to do is take the obstacle avoidance sensors out of the Mini 3 Pro, and they're just going to release the Mini 3 Pro in the same body without the obstacle avoidance sensors, but keep the same camera, which I think is a really smart move. In past iterations of the Mini, we've sort of been like, hey, this is an entry-level drone. People that are learning how to fly might appreciate obstacle avoidance sensors. And they delivered that with the Mini 3. Now, with the Mini 3 Standard versus the Mini 3 Pro, you're gonna take those back away. You might sit there and think, well, that doesn't make any sense, but I think it kind of does. I can understand this. To me, we didn't complain about it really all that much with the Mini 2. The Mini 1, everybody was like, it'd be nice to have obstacle avoidance, maybe in the future. The Mini 2 didn't have it. Nobody really complained. They were all so focused on the high quality resolution out of that tiny little camera on the Mini 2. The Mini 3 has an even better camera than the Mini 2, and it's got that portrait mode, which is perfect for social media creators that want just a small, compact drone for their kit when they're out and about making their content. So I think keeping the camera the same, keeping the body the same, keeping the batteries the same, but eliminating the need for obstacle avoidance is really the right way to go for the Mini 3 Standard versus the Mini 3 Pro. That's what I think they're going to do, and really, we'll find out in just a few weeks, because if this is true, we will see the Mini 3 Standard by the end of September. What do you think? Did you buy the original Mavic 3 release? Did you buy the Mini 3 Pro? If you didn't, are you going to buy the price-reduced, scaled-back versions of either one of these drones? Or if you got both of those drones, are you going to buy the scaled-back version to test it? Are you interested to see what they deliver? And will you be upset if you bought the drones that you have and they don't scale them back enough to make it make sense for you to have spent all that money up front? It's a lot to chew on, so let me know down in the comments below what you think and feel about this news. I'm sort of excited for it, but at the same time, sort of holding my breath to see if I made a good decision. If you liked this video, go ahead and hit the thumbs up button down below. It helps me out a lot, gets this video out into the algorithm to more folks like you that enjoy drone content. And if you really like this video, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. It helps, again, getting me out into the algorithm and showing my channel to people that also enjoy drone tech. And if you really, really, really like this video, hit the bell icon next to the subscribe button. After you hit the subscribe button, you'll get notifications every time I post a new video, so you'll be the first to see it when it comes out. That's pretty cool. This is your second reminder. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Until next time, I'm Chris, the Drone Geek, and I am out of here.